Before we get started today, I just want to thank everyone who's been listening, and especially those who have been sharing. You guys make a big difference. If you could, please take a moment to go to the iTunes store, give us a rating, and leave a comment. All that will really help us become more discoverable within the App Store. Thanks for listening. And now, let us get started with episode 4 of the Missions Podcast, Ricardo Chavira, Part 2. If you haven't heard episode 3 yet, you're going to want to go back and listen to that first. Ricardo is a very interesting dude, and you're going to want to hear the whole story.
And so I chose the University of Colorado Boulder, and I went there for a year, and then I ended up coming back here, and I went to I finished up at Incarnate Word. They had a theater department.
Yeah.
And so I double majored in theater and English.
Got your master's?
Yeah, and then I went and got my master's at UC San Diego from the Professional Actor Training Program. Graduated in 2000. Moved to LA, and within 6 weeks I was starting to book work.
Huh. Now, from what I understand, University of Colorado, you were placed in the advanced acting class by accident? Is that right?
Boy, you do your research. I like this.
That's right.
There was, oh God, what was his name? It was either David or Mark Reifsnyder. I still remember his last name, Reifsnyder. And he had, I know, he had this reddish hair and this beard. And he was the acting teacher. And so I signed up for the acting class. I wanted to, it was my first semester in college, and I wanted to take it easy, 12 hours, just some easy stuff.
Yeah.
English, acting, economics, bad choice. And I can't remember what else. So I go into the acting class, and he starts talking, and he's like, now his majors within this department. I'm going like, whoa, wait, like, oh shit, this is, and I look down at my class schedule, and it says Intro to Acting Majors. And so I go through the whole class, and at the end of the class, I go up to him, I'm like, hey, Mr. Reifsnyder, I think I'm in the wrong class, man. And he's like, okay. And I'm like, yeah, no, this is for majors. I'm not intending on being a major. And he's like, yeah, you could just stay. I'm like, yeah, no, but he goes, look, you're one of 3 guys in the class. He goes, and you're probably one of the better actors from what I'm judging as of today. He goes, you're staying in the class. Got it? And I was like, okay.
Well, there you go.
And it was great because I personally think that if I hadn't stayed in that class with him, I wouldn't have gotten, I guess, as deep of a concentration on that intro to acting, and then kind of been reinvigorated to pursue acting.
And was that the beginning of you wanting to become an actor, or did it come before that?
I had done some acting in high school, but that, a friend of mine got me into it. My friend Ian True, who passed away the year after I got out of high school. He and I got out of high school, so he and my mom died within close proximity to each other. For me, I got into it because I dropped out of all my sports and everything. After my mom passed away, I was playing baseball and I was doing some other stuff. And I was like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Because she was the one that always went to my games. And so Ian told me, I still needed some electives, and he's like, come on into the acting classes. So, I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. And then he's like, dude, there's chicks. I'm like, yeah, but I've seen them. They're not that good looking. He's like, yeah. He goes, yeah, but they're easy. And I was like, okay, well, that's a winner.
Sign me up. Okay.
And of course that never happened, but I ended up doing some acting, and that's how I kind of really got into it. Yeah. And it became kind of like a cathartic way for me to let go of some emotions that I was holding about my mom's death. But I got reinvigorated with it when I went to Colorado and I took these classes with Reifsnyder, and he really kind of pushed me into like doing material that I thought I wasn't right for. Yeah. And taking on a larger part that I didn't feel like I could handle. And it was just ever so slightly. And then when I got to Incarnate Word, that's when things really started to take off for me in terms of acting and really starting to want to pursue it and thinking that maybe I could actually make a career out of this.
Yeah. Well, it does seem like a great escape when you've got a lot of emotional baggage where you can put yourself into another character, just
it is
somebody else for a minute.
It is, but at the same time, you can also do a number on yourself and create even more emotional baggage for yourself. Yeah, if you go too hard with something, or if you start trying to get too methody, and try and be, well, if the character's experience and I have to experience, it's like, whoa, wait a second.
Heath Ledger, huh?
Yeah. And some guys go too far.
Yeah.
But there are certain things that I'll do. I'll try and get try a method and try and experience what that is, but I take it to a certain limit and then I leave it alone, and then I have to play the magical what if game from Stanislavski, so and I don't mind doing that.
Right.
Yeah.
Deep in the valley.
When you were getting into trouble, your dad wasn't in exactly the best position, I suppose, to have a son going off being a knucklehead, huh?
Yeah, my father, I was, all this stuff was going on, and I was wreaking havoc. And my father at the time was working in the DA's office.
Yeah.
You know what? It's funny. I've talked to him about this since then. And I'm like, what was it about me? What were you most concerned about with me? Or what was it that was affecting you the most about what I was doing? I said, I know that you weren't happy about the decisions I was making, the path I was going down, but what was it that was worrying you the most?
Yeah.
And he said, he goes, what worried me the most, he goes, was that at a certain point, I could no longer physically stop you.
Yeah.
He goes, and that's scary. He goes, you are a very big guy. He goes, you're very animated when you get very passionate about things, and your convictions get the better of you. He goes, I feel that it's very impossible for just about anybody to stop you.
Yeah.
And I know that I have that, and that's something that's taken a lot of time for me to control.
Hone in on.
Yeah. And I'm not always. I'm a guy's guy. I'm a loud guy.
Yeah.
I used to be raising hell and drinking beer and getting in trouble and all that crap.
I feel you.
Thank God for my daughter is all I gotta say.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it looks like you and your wife were together a good 18 years before you got married?
We have been together now. This is going on 26 years.
That's amazing.
My last year in high school at Lee High School here in San Antonio, that's when she and I started dating. So people will be like, "Oh, high school sweethearts," and my wife will be very quick to correct that and say, "No,
no."
We started dating at the end of high school, so theoretically, not high school sweethearts.
Yeah.
We had just met at the very end. And she doesn't like people to really know that. And I think she's a little embarrassed about it and stuff. And she's like, because then people are going to know we've been together that fucking long.
Is she embarrassed about the pajama?
That was her idea. You're talking about when we got married in our pajamas.
Yeah, I thought that was great.
Well, we did it backwards. She got pregnant.
Right.
And this is years
4
after.
4 years before, from what I understand.
Yeah. I was about 4.5 years. She got pregnant. 4.5 years before we got married. So when we got married, because we had been talking about it. I had proposed to her a couple times, and she'd always turned me down. I think she turned me down. Yeah, she turned me down like 5 times, dude. I'm pretty sure that's why I kept pressing. So then finally, our son had been born, and we're in like, I don't know, he's 2 or 3 years old or something like that. I think 3. And she's like, I need health care. I need to, you're working on Housewives and I'm like, okay, well let's just call them up.
Yeah.
Well, they're not going to put her on unless we're married.
Yeah.
My son's on, but she's not. And she's like, well, what do we do? I'm like, well, I guess we're going to have to get married now, huh? I'm laughing the way you were laughing. And she's like, ha, ha, ha. And she's like, okay, well, we can have fun with it. We'll go to Vegas and da-da-da. I'm like, okay, well, I need to find out when there's going to be some time in the housewife schedule. She's like, oh, well, fuck that. That's never going to happen. And I was like, okay. I said, well, why don't we just go down to the courthouse? And she goes, no, your dad used to work down there. He knows everybody. Everybody's going to be peeping their head. And she was like, no. And I'm like, well, hell, I don't know. Get a freaking minister and bring him over here to the house and have him marry us in our PJs while we're eating eggs and drinking coffee.
And that's what she takes.
And that's what she did. I mean, she was good about it too.
Awesome.
She even bought the rings and she called up to the housewife production offices and got a hold of the property master so that they would go and size my finger for the ring.
Wow.
And I remember them doing it. They're like, we just need to get a size on you and stuff. Because the prop master at the time is a good friend of mine, and David. And so David did that, and he had this glimmer in his eyes, and I didn't make sense to me then, but in hindsight, I was like, oh, you little motherfucker.
Yeah.
So then I come back from working on Housewives, and I wake up in the morning, and she's like, come on, get up. And I'm like, what's going on? And she's like, we're getting married today. I'm like, bullshit, we're not getting married today. And I rolled over. She pulls on my pants and gives me a wedgie. She's like, get your ass out of bed, we're getting married.
What a surprise. Huh?
And so we did it. My son was 4 years old, and he was the best. He was the best man and the ring bearer, and he was also the witness because on the marriage certificate there's a spot for witness, and he signed his name in crayon.
Wow, that is awesome.
On our marriage certificate. And then afterwards we went to his little Pee Wee soccer game.
Yeah, that is awesome.
But to keep going real quick, and then so we did everything backwards, and then a little while after that, she was like, we never got engaged. She goes, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna be a girl, but I really want an engagement ring, and I think I deserve it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit. I'm like, if she's talking about deserves, this is gonna be one big ass ring. And so I said, okay. I said, but look, we're also getting ready to get the kitchen redone. She goes, oh, well, then I want the kitchen redone. The ring can wait. Yeah. And so right then and there, I knew, okay, well, she's getting both.
Yeah.
So I said, okay. She goes, well, let me show you what kind of ring I want. I said, no. I said, I get to pick it. And I said, honey, you know my taste, and I know your taste. Trust me. She's like, all right. And so then I finally gave her the engagement ring right around the holidays, that holiday period after we got married, and she was very satisfied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I did good. I done good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you've done TV, you've done theater, you've done a couple movies. What do you like to do best?
Oh man, I love theater.
Yeah.
Theater is by far the best. The problem is that it just doesn't fucking pay.
Yeah. Something about having the audience there, though, huh?
There is nothing like it.
Yeah.
There is absolutely nothing like it.
You get the immediate feedback.
I mean, you hear the oohs and the ahs, and you can feel. I mean, when you're on a stage and it's so intense, whatever kind of piece of material you're doing, but when you can hear your audience breathing,
yeah,
and you can hear the pulsating of their breathing,
brings a whole new life to it.
And whether you've got an audience of 10 people or 1,100 people, it's like when you've got people right there and they're invested in the journey that you're going through and the story that you're telling.
Yeah, there's
absolutely nothing like it. It's a complete adrenaline rush. I mean, it would be like, what is it? Paragliding or whatever, something like that. Wow. I mean, it really is.
Just a thrill, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because, it's a hard thing to do to stand there in front. I mean, people, public speaking is one of the biggest fears, or the biggest fear.
Yeah.
To stand up in front of people and give a speech, stand up in front of people on a blank stage and to start performing and try and get them to go with you on a journey that you are this character, or you are this story. That's a hard thing to do.
Yeah, for sure.
Really hard thing to do.
Oh yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. There's nothing like it.
So definitely something you'd like to do again.
Stage, I really want to do stage again. I like I said, doesn't pay that well. Doesn't pay as well as TV and film.
No, yeah. Well, I imagine TV is probably one of the better spots to be in because it's more of a consistent.
It works better to be a working actor in television. You know, if you've got a family and stuff like things like that. It's conducive to that kind of environment. You know, if you're doing film doesn't. It's hard to raise a family with film because you get a film job and then all of a sudden it's like if we're talking about huge motion pictures, you're going away to Morocco for 3 months and then you're taping over here. You know, I mean, those guys' lives are demanded and put upon, and you're talking about the star. Now the star can do whatever the hell he wants. If he's like, I need a week off to go visit my family, Brad Pitt's gonna get a week off to go visit his family. But the guy who's number 14 on the call sheet, it's like, well, Brad Pitt's taking a week off to go visit his family, so we're gonna shoot all of your scenes now.
Yeah, time to double up.
So you're working that whole week.
Yeah, wow.
When you thought you had it off, so get on the plane and fly your ass back over here to Morocco, buddy. And that's show business, man.
And a movie may not necessarily pay out better than TV either. So,
well, I mean, hey, TV may not pay out better. Look at what happened to Welcome to the Family.
Yeah,
I mean, but
what a shame.
Well, they were chucking it at the wall like wet spaghetti, and they were hoping that it was going to stick.
But to get back to that, is there still any chance possibly of revisiting that, putting it as a Netflix special, or?
No, I think they dropped it on Hulu, and you can watch it on Hulu and some stuff like that. But we'll never go. I mean, we're never going to go back.
Wow.
O'Malley's already moved on, and he's doing stuff. A couple of the other actors I think have moved on too.
The chemistry was going, man. The last 3 episodes that I watched, I laughed my ass off.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I was starting to watch them. I was starting to enjoy them, and then I got the news that on the Friday after they aired the 3rd episode. I got Eva to come in and play a part in that 3rd episode. Yeah. A teacher that she and I had a previous romance or something.
Right.
And the numbers spiked for that night.
Yeah.
It raised like 28% or something like that for the night, but our numbers were still miserable. But the reason our numbers were miserable is because
no promotion.
Well, no promotion, but also it was a horrible night with a horrible lead-in. I mean, you've got Parks and Recreation, which everybody touts as this wonderfully critically acclaimed comedy, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't find it funny. I don't find it funny. I don't think any. And NBC. The problem with NBC is that's what's her name. Polar or Paler or however you say it.
Yeah.
They love their Saturday Night Live people. Right. And the thing that they need to realize with the Saturday Night Live people is they're very funny in an ensemble environment. Rarely are they able to exist on their own and be funny.
No.
And it's rare that I've seen it. Tina Fey is an exception. Right. Tina Fey is exceptional.
Yeah.
Tracy Morgan is also another one that's exceptional.
Oh, they can do
Adam Sandler, exceptional. Absolutely. But I mean, for a majority of the guys that come out, and because they're NBC alums from Saturday Night Live, NBC loves to try and give them these shows, and they just ultimately fail. And I just don't understand the reasoning behind it. But the whole night, so that lead-in was like, I think Parks and Rec was doing 2.5 to 3 million viewers. That's okay, here's a good one. I remember after the 2nd episode aired, and our numbers were like 1.4 million, 1.5, maybe 2, I don't remember. And I get into hair and makeup, and I had heard the numbers. The thing is, I already knew the writing was on the wall with it.
Yeah.
I could feel it, I could smell it, And I go into hair and makeup, and I'm sitting there, with my eyes closed, just letting them do their work. My wonderful crew. And O'Malley's in the chair next to me, and you can feel the tension and the stress on him, love Mike O'Malley.
Yeah. Fucking
incredible writer, talented actor, and just a general great human being.
Yeah.
Really cool guy. And so Mike's sitting over there, and he's like, oh, man. And I'm like, what's up, man? And he goes, did you see the numbers? I was like, no, Mike, I didn't. He goes, well, I'll tell you what. Those aren't Housewives numbers.
Shit.
And without batting an eye, I just turned and I looked at him. I was like, No, they're not.
Well, again, I'm disappointed because I really felt like you guys were starting to get somewhere.
I thought it was gonna be like a kind of odd couple thing. A guys, like two guys.
It was working that way.
And I really thought we could have. I was already foreseeing in the early stages. I was foreseeing us probably pitching the show during during football season, and these two dads on the couch that don't like each other, and he goes for one team and I go for the other, and that kind of stuff.
What I liked about it was it dealt with a lot of situations that a lot of American families do go through. Mm-hmm. You've got racial tension a little bit in the beginning, and everybody gets over that, and you've got the pregnant teen situation. You've got, the in-law situation. You've got this and that. And one moment that I remember in particular was the frat party.
Oh, yeah.
This situation was dealt with, to me, in a genius manner because when they walk in, you don't know how everybody's going to react to the situation. And you end up where you're the macho guy.
Yeah.
So you think this guy's about to get pissed at this kid for being at this gay frat party. And in the end, he's just like, well,
yeah,
whatever makes you happy.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like you let the tension build, and then for your character to just be like, all right, I'm fine with this.
It's the father. It's that situation where you have to being a father. It's like you see your child and you want and you hope for them and you don't want to see them fall flat on their face, but you realize that they have to.
Yeah.
And you have to let them fall flat on their face. If you sit there and you try and protect your child every single day, how are they ever going to learn?
Yeah.
I've learned more. I've learned more through failure than I have through success.
Yeah, absolutely.
I never have I got the lesson than when I'm sitting in a drunk tank for the 5th time.
Yeah.
Some lessons took a little bit longer, mind you. I needed a few kicks in the head, but it's like my father let me fail. Yeah. My father was in a position, he was working in the DA's office. He could have easily gotten me out.
Yeah.
But he was like, no, you're going to sit your ass in there and think about this for a while.
Yeah.
And the fact that it kept happening over and over, it's like, well, if you need a kick in the head that many times, go ahead, brother.
Yeah.
Knock yourself out.
There you go.
And with my son, it's like where he's 12 now, and I'm working with him on basketball to his new school and stuff, and he's got a paper or a big assignment due, and I will help him to a certain point, and I tell him I will sit down here and I will help you with it. I said, but I'm not going to do your work for you.
Yeah.
I said, this is your work. You are the 6th grader in the house, not mom, not me, not your little sister. I said, so 6th grade homework belongs to 6th grader Tomas.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That's it.
And if you fail, then you suffer the consequences.
Yeah. It's all up to you.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's gone in our world these days.
It is.
It
is. Everybody's holding each other's hand, and
and everybody gets a trophy.
Yeah, we're all winners.
Yeah, you're right. It's like I remember growing up. It's like there was first place, second place, third place, and really there was just first place. Second place and third place still meant you suck.
Yeah. You either lost or you won.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So what's on the horizon? Anything?
I shot this film called Polvo y Oro, or Powder and Gold, which is I shot it in the Dominican Republic with a couple of telenovela stars, Rafael Amaya from Señor de los Cielos. It's a big telenovela production that's on right now.
Pretty sure my wife watches it.
Dude, Rafael Amaya, dude, I was looking at him. He's got these green eyes, and he's tall like me, which was great.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm in great shape. This guy's in great shape.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at him. He's got these big green eyes, and I was like, man, if somebody doesn't make out with this dude soon, I might make out. I was like, please don't stare at me.
Right.
And such a wonderful, wonderful guy.
Yeah.
Carolina Guerra, who was on Da Vinci Code.
Okay.
Or not the movie, or not,
TV show?
Yeah, the Da Vinci's Demons.
Yeah,
Da Vinci's
gotcha.
Demons. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm if it's not Pixar or sports or news, I really don't know it.
I know what you mean,
I'll
brother.
be very honest. And as much as I'd love to be able to get out and see all these movies that people are talking about, I'm like, dude, I got kids. I know Minecraft.
Yeah, no, for
You
real.
know, and it's like, and then I got my dogs, and I got the things that I enjoy, riding my motorcycles and
Yeah.
working out, and that's that's my thing. So, but anyway, so yeah, she was on that show, Da Vinci's Demons. Another young man, Octavio Pisano, who is on, it'll come to me.
Yeah.
Tyler Perry.
Okay.
It's a Tyler Perry television series. My buddy. Anyway, I met all these people and I worked with them on this movie. It was a beautiful, beautiful movie about kind of like about the drug cartel scene in the Dominican Republic and the history of it.
Huh.
And I played basically the old man drug lord, a la the Frank character from Scarface.
Oh, okay,
You know, the
gotcha.
guy who's kind of large and in charge. And Rafael Amaya plays the young and upcoming guy who takes it over, the Al Pacino type character.
Yeah.
Okay. And he has a power struggle with the other, his kind of brother-in-arms, played by Octavio Pisano. And in the struggle between the two guys is the woman played by Carolina Guerra. So, you know, I'm more of a cameo spot. I come in, I set things up, and then they take me down and kill me, and then they take over the whole world, you know,
man.
kind of thing. So I'm in there for some really good scenes, and then I'm dead. You know, and this was also very much an indie film and an indie budget, so
Nice.
we'll probably get a larger international release than we will a domestic release.
Right.
I think they're hoping for a decent domestic release. We'll see.
Yeah.
For me, it was the opportunity to get back to work, the opportunity to work on something that was bilingual, and
This is going to be a mostly Spanish film, though.
they've shot it in Spanish and in English.
Okay.
So
So it'll be released both ways.
yeah. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it's dealt with.
Yeah.
And then I've been flying back and forth as I've been doing pretty much my whole career to LA. The pilot season for the next round of pilots, the new concept ideas that all the networks are coming out with is getting ready to start this month, January, and it'll be going until March, April. So that's one of the reasons why I've been kind of, I guess, I don't know, collectively getting myself together. You know, after Welcome to the Family finished, you know, I kind of came home with my tail between my legs and didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And I started, you know, of course, I'm a season ticket holder for the Spurs, go Spurs.
Yeah.
And so, you know, they had the championship run and they won. So I was going to games and boy, I was enjoying my chicken wings and my beer drinking.
Yeah.
And then I go to pilot season as we're finishing up the end of our season, getting ready to go into the playoffs. I went for last pilot season, and I'm like, you know, everything's great, everything's going really well, but you know, people like me, but I'm not getting the decision. And my manager's like, well, you know, I'm like, just spill it. He goes, maybe you want to lay off the beer and the chicken wings, buddy. And I was like, what? And he goes, let me show you a picture of you last year. Let me show you a picture of you this year.
Man.
And I was like, shit.
That's an eye-opener.
It's not. And I said, well, he did the picture thing first, really. And then I was like, look, okay, but next time, just tell me.
Yeah.
You're fucking getting fat, dude. Fucking lay off that shit and get to the gym. So I started working out this year, about 3 or 4 months ago with Jesse James Leja.
Awesome.
Yeah, and that's been just tremendous.
And you're doing
So-
boxing training then.
I'm boxing training with the man himself, and he's got a hell of a story.
Does he?
He's got a hell of a story,
I'd love to talk to
you
him.
know. And like you said, you know, it's, you know, to see a guy that's gone through that many fights and his face still looks pretty damn pretty.
Yeah, you know. He
It's like-
must know what he's doing.
Yeah, he must know what he's doing, you know. So and he does, and he's been whipping me into shape really. I mean, I felt like I was in really good shape when I saw him at a Spurs game and he invited me to come work out with him. You know, I'd been running, I've been playing basketball with my son, I've been swimming and lifting and just doing all kinds of stuff. I was like, man, I'm ready for this. And I got into that first day and he kicked my ass. And I've never felt more inadequate in my life.
Yeah, you know, you go to the gym a lot, it's one thing. But box training, that's a whole nother level.
We were talking about it earlier. He starts me off with, you know, coming in and warming up, shadow boxing in the ring, you know, throwing combinations and stuff by myself and moving around the ring for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You try that if you've never boxed before.
You know,
go try that. Go try it. Just go try throwing some punches and stuff, you know, for 10 minutes, moving around in the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what.
You're gonna be sweating buckets.
Yeah. Set the timer because you're gonna think 10 minutes is up way before it is.
Or it's like you know, go tread water for 10 minutes. You know, and you tread for about 3, and you're like, oh, I must be close to 10. You're like, no, dude, you got 7 minutes left.
Ain't that the truth?
Oh.
Who's been your favorite actor or actress to work with?
To work with? Wow.
You've worked with quite a few. Let me just look at this roster here.
Oh shit. Okay.
Desperate Housewives.
Yeah.
You've appeared in 6 Feet Under.
Yeah.
The Grubs.
Yeah.
The Division.
Yeah.
Joan of Arcadia.
Yeah.
Kingpin.
Yeah.
Monk. 24.
Monk. Tony Shalhoub.
Yeah.
Tony. I had the great opportunity to work with Tony Shalhoub because our director for those, I think I did 2 episodes or 3 episodes, I can't remember, was Andre Belgrader. Andre Belgrader was my acting professor at University of California, San Diego. Andre Belgrader was Tony Shalhoub's acting professor when Tony was at the Yale School of Drama. Tony is a theater-trained actor. So there's a difference between being a trained actor for stage and going and working in television and film than, you know, somebody who's become an actor via television and film. They're not going to be able to cross over to stage, or it's going to be extremely difficult for them.
Yeah.
Okay. We have our own special dialogue in terms of how we talk about a production and acting for the stage. You know, and theater actors, they know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So to be able to work with Tony and to have been able to spend time with him and to have picked his brain and to watch the professionalism that exists in somebody like that. You know, because I mean, he was wearing all the hats. He was writing, he was in the writer's room, he was also producer, he was the lead actor, he was also directing. I mean, he was doing everything.
Busy guy.
I mean, that guy did not leave the set once.
Wow.
And I mean, when he would have to go for a potty break, he was apologizing. No, because the guy just worked that much. And
Yeah.
it was extremely incredible and inspiring to watch that. And at the same time, it's like, shit, I don't know that I'd ever want that. I don't know that you gotta want that.
Yeah, for sure.
And you gotta want that in your life, because I mean, all the other areas of your life are just gonna kind of go by the wayside.
Yeah.
You know? So to have worked with Tony and had such a great time and how generous he was great. But I have to say, a lot of the people that I really liked working with are the guest stars.
Really?
And the actors that you wouldn't necessarily know by name that came and played with us for a week or for a day or whatever on Housewives and on Welcome to the Family and the shows that I was a series regular on.
Maybe because the ego is not there yet.
No, because you know what? Because a lot of times they're the ones that are really doing the meat.
Yeah.
They're the ones that are doing a lot of. They come in and they're like a gun for hire. They got to come in. They're not the lead actor. Nobody's gonna give them any special treatment. They gotta come in, they gotta hit their mark, they gotta know their lines, and people are still probably gonna treat them like crap.
Yeah.
And they're not gonna get all the coverage that they want, because all the good coverage is gonna go to your lead actors and your series regulars.
Right.
So these guys are just scraps. I don't care how much they're doing, how much heavy lifting they're doing. A lot of times they get treated as scrap meat on the set. And those characters, those character actors that come in and play day play for us or our top of the show guest star or whatever, they're what makes our show live.
Yeah.
And
it's not, a lot of people sit at home and they watch these things and they're like, man, look at this guy getting paid to act, They don't realize how much hard work really goes into this. And first of all, it takes a hell of a lot of hard work to get noticed in the first place.
Yeah.
And once you're there, you got to maintain, which is probably just as difficult, if not more. Going from project to project, you've got to earn your keep on the one and get the attention of somebody to get on that next thing.
You're only as good as your last job.
Yeah.
That's how they put it.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, look, I did Housewives. That was an 8-year run. I did Welcome to the Family, which, it was a 3 and out, but I wouldn't have gotten Welcome to the Family had I not had Housewives.
Yeah.
But now, Welcome to the Family is 2 pilot seasons ago, I think.
Yeah.
And I've taken time off, and gladly have taken time off to be at home with my wife and my kids. Because I can afford to be here, and I was gone for so long that I missed out on certain things like baseball games and homework and the day-to-day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I've been, I've taken this time to kind of reinvest myself into that day-to-day, which has helped me a lot, and it's helped me gain a lot of perspective on who I am and what I want and what I'm looking forward to in my life.
It's really important.
But I know going into this next pilot season and that for future jobs, it's like I can look at something and be like, that sounds really great, but nah, I don't want that. That's not the kind of character I want to play, or I don't want to be in Toronto.
Yeah.
Working for 6 months.
That's a good position to be in.
Yeah, or whatever, So, and when the right thing comes along, I'm going to see it and I'm going to want it and I'm going to go for it.
Yeah.
And if I end up having to wait too long and then I just have to take a job because I need to take a job, then that's what I'm going to do too.
Yeah. Well, the family time is essential. Kids as they grow up, you can buy them whatever the fuck you want, but and they'll like that for a minute.
Yeah.
As they get older, what they're going to remember is what you did with them.
Yeah.
So presence over presence.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
basically.
Presence over presence. That's a great way to put it. I like that. And I've been able to do that. Like I took my son hunting. He didn't hit anything.
Right.
He made the rifle team for his school. He's like, Dad, I want to go hunting. I'm like, okay, well, let's go.
Yeah.
And I've used to hunt before. I don't think I've gotten anything when I've gone hunting in like 12 years.
Yeah.
Easy, And I think of all the times that I went hunting, I think I bagged maybe 10 quail and like 1 deer and 1 pig. You know what I mean? So it's, yes, I can do it, or I don't have to do it. I can take it either way.
Right.
But my son wants to go. He wants the experience. We're gonna go. I think the biggest lesson he learned is that how quiet you have to be in the deer blind.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that was a big lesson for him.
Yeah.
I bought him a rifle for Christmas, and to teach him about respecting that rifle, to teach him about that it's not a toy, that it's a tool.
Right.
And he was scared of it. When he saw me fire it and he heard it fire, it was the concussion that really scared him. The noise.
Yeah, for sure.
And I said, look, you don't have to fire it at an animal. I want you to at least fire it once on paper, and he did. And he got real nervous. And I don't want to embarrass him, but he was pretty nervous.
Yeah, it's a loud sound.
Yeah.
Never been around it before.
Exactly, but he was happy that he did it. And I could see that he was happy that he did it. But more importantly, what he was happy about was that was 3 days of just him and me time.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. And I know down the road, that's something that's always going to be in his memory. Yeah. And the fishing trips that I've taken him on, and the time that I've been home to be able to help him with all the school projects and adjusting to the new school that he's at right now. I know this time has been important, and I know that for some reason it was made available to me.
Yeah.
Because I can feel where my life is starting to shift again, and there is another big project for me around the corner. I have no idea what it is, but I can feel it, I can sense it, and I know other people can feel it too.
It's coming.
Yeah, it's
Good.
coming. You
Good.
know, it's coming. And so,
We want to see more of you on screen.
well, I appreciate that. I want to see more of me on the screen too, because that means I'm getting paid.
I'll bet. I'll bet. And I'll tell you, the hunting and fishing, that's a valuable lesson on patience. That, you know, nowadays, the way things are, you know, kids pick up something. Half the time, my daughter's listening to music, and she'll listen to 30 seconds of a song, and then she skips to the next one, and it's another 45 seconds, and then my son will pick up a game, and he plays it for a minute or two, and then he switches to another game, and it seems like we've got that kind of, the way things are today. It's like everything's like, pick it up, look at it, a few minutes, and it's down, and then you're on to the next thing. And hunting and fishing, I think, you know, that really, you've got to sit there. You've got to be quiet. You've got to pay attention, and this is a valuable lesson, I think, that kids aren't getting these days. So it's good.
I totally agree. You know, I told my wife, I said, you know, we're getting ready to go through this pilot season. You know, I'm going to be going back and forth to LA. I said, I have no idea what opportunity is going to be coming down the road for me. I said, she goes, she's one of the ones that's been sitting here saying, something's going to happen, something big. She goes, I can feel it. And I said, yeah, I can too. I think I can. You know, I said, I'm hoping for it. And I said, whatever that big is, when it happens and I get that job, as soon as I finish that job, I said, what I want us to do is, you know, go rent an RV or something like that. I said, it's going to be you, me, and the kids. We're going to pack it up. I want to go to the Grand Canyon, and I want to go camping out there for about a week, 10 days. I said, I don't want any iPads. I don't want any computers. I said, we're going to take books, board games, fishing poles, you know, maybe whatever.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, we've never really, I said, I don't care. And if we fail miserably at it all, then we fail miserably at it all. I said, but God damn it, we're going to be together as a family if it kills us. And there's not going to be any electronics. I'm so tired of okay, it's like, I see my child with an iPhone playing a game. Put that phone down. They put the phone down, they pick up an iPad right away.
Yep.
Put the iPad up, put the iPad down, they go to an Xbox. Get off the Xbox to the laptop. Get off the laptop. I mean, it's just like one thing to one thing to one thing to one thing. And I'm like, turn all that shit off.
And sometimes, and let's be honest, the worst part is we're sitting there drilling them about it.
And we're sitting there watching TV drilling them about it.
I'm on the fucking toilet with my iPhone. I mean,
or I'm sitting there, you know, couch surfing between two games.
Ain't that some shit?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. We're all falling victims of this, but yeah, it's true. Every once in a while, you need that time where you just say, you know what, everybody drop that shit.
Yeah.
Let's get together and spend some real time together, talk about some things, you know.
What was great was, like I said, on that hunting trip, you know, by the end of the hunting trip, when we left and we drove back up here to San Antonio, we didn't have the radio on.
Yeah.
And my son was talking to me, you know, and it's always been a hard thing between he and I sometimes. It's the age, it's I think, you know, the fact that I was going back and forth so much and I wasn't always here.
Yeah.
Excuse me. You know, and especially kids nowadays, they don't, when they talk to you, it's like, you know, 2 words or 3 words. Oh, yeah, okay. Uh-huh. I don't know. Yeah, that's good. Okay. What?
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, I'll take water.
Yeah, I get that.
You know, it's like,
my daughter there,
I'm like,
1, 2 words.
like, I'm gonna strangle you, kid. And so, in this car ride coming back up home, it was like he was talking about all kinds of stuff, and I was just like, there's the personality, there's that kid.
Yeah.
You know, and he was starting to share about things that he probably normally would just keep to himself, and I was really happy about that.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, I'm very happy that I've had my time off. You know, people, you know, where people are like, so what are you working on? What are you doing? I said, I'm working on myself.
Yeah.
So I'm working on myself, and I'm working on my family. And I'm working on the biggest job I got.
That's right. Yeah.
So, you know, I'm sorry if I'm, you know, not in a TV show or not doing a movie or living up to the standards of my industry and don't have the projects that I need, but this is something that I needed for me, and I'm very happy that I've had it, you know?
Yeah.
So.
And it's great that you've worked yourself to the position where now you can do that.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know, I can afford myself the opportunity to take that time and be with my family and my kids for sure.
yeah. And if that's not your goal, what the hell?
Exactly. What are we here for?
Yeah, that's
what are we
right.
here for?
Awesome. I really appreciate you letting me come by, and I mean,
No problem.
you invite me in your home. This is as good as it gets. So,
Well, you're kind, man. But yeah, anytime, man. I mean, I'm telling you. You know?
Awesome.
I hope. I want to hear this when it finally finishes up.
A lot of the positive feedback that we receive about the show is centered around the music that you hear in the background during the podcast. That music comes from the genius mind of Ruler Y. You can find his music on Bandcamp and iTunes. He's an incredible beat producer and also one hell of an engineer. If you think that you could use his services, contact him at rulery@gmail.com. Spread the love, people. Do you have something to market or promote? Smith Print is a local, family-owned and operated printing press in the downtown San Antonio area. You can reach them at 210-876-1555 or smithprint.net. Let's make it happen with Smith Print. This episode's Texas music pick is Why the Chichada Screams by the band La Chichada. Their album, Rock Arte, A-R-T-E, is available on Spotify. These guys come straight out of San Antonio, Texas, and they do shows somewhat regularly, so keep an eye out for them. Show your love, people.